Happy Friday, everyone. We got a fun 10-rounder coming at you today. Oh, yeah, it's going to be a sweet one. But before we get to that, let's talk about the warm-up. Our warm-up is going to consist of some familiar movements. We're just going to get our legs warmed up. We're going to get our Sumo good morning on for 5, Windmill for 6 to 10, alternating reps, single leg RDL for 3 to 5 a side, and a narrow squat hold for 10 to 30 seconds, working through that 2 to 3 rounds. After that, we're going to work on some tempo work with some jumping. So tempo goblet squat for 3 at a 5, 1-3 tempo. Into a back lunge to high knee jump for 20 seconds a side. Finishing off with a tempo thruster of 3 to 5 reps at a 3-second eccentric in the squat. Nice and fast on the way up with 3 seconds on the squat. And then a dumbbell deadlift at a 3 rep per side, or 3 reps in total. 3-second eccentric as well to below the knee or the floor. You'll hit that anywhere for 2 to 3, 3 to 5 rounds, whatever you need to get yourself fired up and ready to go, and then tackle our work set. So our work set today is 10 rounds. We have 10 dumbbell thrusters and 3 dumbbell deadlifts per side. So rock that single arm deadlift for 3 a side, and then you're going to go into that nice double or single arm thruster, depending what you have access to, for 10 total. So it's going to be a good, fast little work set. If you can tackle multiple rounds in a row without having to put the dumbbell down, I invite you to give her a shot. Try it out. See if you can keep moving for those big numbers and have some fun with this one today. It's going to be a little bit of pacing on the squatting, but it's going to get that heart rate jacked up quickly. Let's get you ready to go, and we'll have a great day today. All right, you guys, let's get our feet under those hips. Take the arms up big and tall. We're going to shrug those shoulders up to the ears. We're going to come back down with the arms. Bring the hands down behind the neck. Ribs in. Glutes engage. We're going to lift that elbow. Reach it to the sky. Pull it down. Reach the elbow. Pull it down. Reach the elbow. And down. Reach the elbow. Down. 2 more. Reach the elbow. Down and reach the elbow. And down. Big stretch overhead. Little reach. Little side bend in there. Big stretch to the other side. Good. Forward fold to touch those toes. Walk up those shins, nice flat back. We'll come down, frame a foot, step it back into our lizard. Inside hand's going to lock the legs in place, and we'll just turn the torso. We'll come back to center and lower the knee, press the hip to center, press the hip to center, and press the hip back to center. Straighten the leg, turn. Come back through, hand on the foot comes up, and we get 1 rotation in there. Come back up, plant the hand, step it back into our down dog, reach in those hips, set those shoulders, then we'll come back into our plank, stepping the other foot up. Nice and square, inside hand is going to lock the front foot down, turn, back to center, lower the knee, press the hip, come back to center, press the hip, to center, and press the hip, back to center, straighten out the leg, turn the torso, come back through, hand on the foot comes up, and we'll rotate. Forearm down to the floor, back up to the sky, plant that hand, step it back into that down dog, reaching those hips, just walk those heels out nice and slow, really start to weight those legs up a bit. And we'll come back to center into our plank. Tiptoe those feet up. Roll ourselves all the way up. Big stretch. Woo! Come down with the arms. We're going to get you guys fired up. So if you'd like to, pause the video, take down a little bit more gentle warm-up if you'd like it. Maybe some more rotation, cat-cows, scat push-ups, whatever you'd like to take down to get your body ready for what's to come. I'm going to get you guys going through that top piece, and we'll see where it takes us. All right, our first movement today is going to kickstart off with a Sumo good morning. So we're going to get our feet into that Sumo stance, so it's a slightly wider stance. I'm going to turn profile so you guys can see where my hips go. Nice and tall, I'm going to set the glutes, set the ribs. I'm going to pull the hips back into that good morning, keeping that back nice and flat and straight as I stand tall, just opening up the hips. And again, keeping the knees soft so I can really feel those hamstrings. Those big toes stay down. Just taking it to where I can feel that engagement through the hamstrings and keep that back nice and straight. Remember, if you have a PVC pipe or a broomstick, you can strap it up along your head, shoulder, and hip, and make sure as we hinge and pull those hips back, we can maintain that connection to the PVC or broomstick all the way to our end range. And that's a really good instant kind of cure for you, and it'll give you good feedback in terms of where you're hinging or flexing in the spine. After that, we're gonna stay in our sumo stance. We're gonna work that good morning for a little bit of rotation work. So I have 6 to 10 alternating, but if you'd like to do 3 to 5 per side, that's also very fine as well. So we're gonna take the arm up overhead, pressing up to the sky, keeping that arm engaged, just like we did in our overhead position in our wall planks the other day. We are gonna pull the hips back and rotate at the lower rib, keeping that shoulder strong, reaching up to the sky, and then coming back up overhead. If you're gonna do the alternating, you can just switch hands nice and gently, but make sure when you are switching sides, you engage that arm, working on that good rotation the entire time as we take it down and maintain that position all the way through the rep. So these aren't meant to be fast, nor do they have to be super slow, but I want you to take them at a pace that you can maintain the good shoulder position, and you can pay attention to that hinge and rotation. There's a lot going on in there, and I want you guys to really feel every single movement in there. After that, we're gonna continue working with that hinge, and we're gonna work on our single leg RDL just to charge up the glutes and hamstrings a bit. So we're gonna get that toe plastered to the floor, balancing leg nice and set, hips are square, nice squeeze through the glutes and shoulders, and then we're gonna pull the hip back, trying to maintain that nice flat foot contact with the majority of my weight over top of the laces, so that midfoot contact, but we wanna keep that big toe down. It's very easy in these as we pull back to lean into the heel. So I want you to really focus on the big toe, pulling the hip back, staying over top of that midfoot, and then standing really well. Okay. Taking that time to play with that, just really prime up the hamstrings and glutes. It's really early in our warm-up today, so if you do want to load it, keep it light. If not, use it as a primer just to get that glute set up and feel that engagement through the hamstrings. After the single leg RDL per side, we have our narrow squat hold. So yesterday we did a sumo squat hold. Today we're going to do a narrow. So my regular squat stance is usually around here. That narrow stance can be anything inside that position. So whatever feels good for you today, please allow that to be your squat stance, and allow it to change day to day, just so that you do allow your body to say, oh, today I'm a little stiffer, I need to be a little bit wider. Allow it to do that, because it's just a warm-up exercise to get that ankle, hip, and knee kind of primed up. So my feet are flat, my weight are through my midfoot, my glutes are engaged. I can take the hips to the heels as best I can, keeping that chest up nice and tall. I'm working on opening up those ankles, keeping that body nice and engaged. I'm gonna hold the bottom position for that 10 to 20 seconds. When I'm done, I'm gonna push through those legs, and I'm gonna leave that squat hold the same way I went into it. I wanna make sure that I'm leaving it that nice smooth squat and keeping those shoulders and hips rising together. If you need to come out earlier, come out sooner. Make sure you can exit the squat the same way we went in. As a quick recap, we have our sumo good morning for 5 reps, windmill for 6 to 10 alternating, single leg RDL for 3 to 5 a side, narrow squat hold for 10 to 30 seconds, and then 2 to 3 rounds, take that down. Gives your body a nice chance to kind of work out the week and get the body ready for what's to come with the squats and the deadlifts. Pause the video, take it down, come back and join me. We're gonna work on some tempo work and kickstart off that day the right way. All right, so we're gonna kickstart off our day here with a tempo goblet squat. So we get our dumbbell up under the chin. So holding that dumbbell up and under the chin, close to the body. We're gonna press into that a little bit to keep that body upright. So I don't want the elbows kind of drooping or the dumbbell drooping. I want you to actively hold that thing up so we're keeping that upper body engaged. My squat stance is going to be a regular squat stance. We're going to use this later on in the thruster. So we're going to prime this squat up. So I'm setting, I'm solid through my body position. I'm going to take my hips to my heels, keeping the chest high, and the knees tracking those toes. I'm trying to stay as upright as I can in this squat, and as I take this down, working on keeping that weight through the midfoot. As I take this down, we have a slightly slower tempo for you guys today. So we have 3 reps at a 5-second lower, 1 second pause, and then we have that nice smooth stand, all right, for 3 seconds. So it's gonna be a nice smooth tempo, slower than normal, all right, so really take the time to kind of play with that. From there, we have our back lunge. to high knee jump. So we have 20 lovely seconds of work per side. So what we're going to work on today is that back lunge, moving into that high knee or moving into that high knee jump. So either one, all right? So depending on how comfortable you are with the lunge, I'm going to say practice the lunge today. Work on just hitting a range that feels comfortable for you. Don't necessarily worry about going all the way down, or I'll give you that other option, that back scale to high knee jump as well. So first things first, the back lunge to high knee jump. What we have for you guys, as we step back, that foot that's going to go back, I'm going to get that hand up, ready to charge into that drive. So the leg that goes back, I'm going to get the arm to come up, kind of in that running position. As I stand, I'm going to switch hands, drive, and bring that leg up nice and strong into that high knee lift. So that high knee coming through is what's going to lift my body into that jump, and then my leg that's on the bottom is going to finish that lift with a little ankle pop. Now if you're not comfortable jumping but you're going to rock the lunge, you can also play with this. We step back, we work the lunge, we come up to our high knee balance position, just working on that nice smooth lift, working on that engagement through the quad, and finding our balance on that single leg. If you're not a lunger and you like to still practice that movement, but not quite lunge today, we can work on that RDL jump. So what we're looking at is taking that leg, taking it back, we reach forward with that arm, the leg goes back, we come through, and that swinging through just like the lunge of that leg comes up, and we finish with the pop of that balancing, stabilizing leg. And that ankle just kind of finishes the process. If we're not going to jump, same concept as the lunge. We reach, we feel that position, and then we come through, find that high knee, and bring it down. So we're working on that balance, we're working on those positions, and keeping that body nice and strong. From here, we're going to move into a tempo thruster. And the tempo thruster is kind of challenging. Right? It's one of those movements where we really have to kind of separate the two pieces, because we're not trying to go slow on the up, we're just trying to slow the squat down so we can really focus in on those positions and get the best bang for our buck when it comes to driving into that press. So what we're going to do is we're going to clean the dumbbell or dumbbells up to the shoulder. I'm going to stand in my regular squat stance, getting set and ready. I'm going to pull my squat down 3 seconds. So it's 3, 2, 1 to the bottom of my squat. I'm going to drive out of the bottom and finish that press with the arm. I'm going to bring the dumbbell down to the shoulder, and then 3, 2, 1, drive out of the bottom, come back to the shoulder, 3, 2, 1, drive, and then come down. So we want to embrace the idea of that explosive stand-up out of the bottom of that squat, but we're going to slow the tempo of the squat so we can really get into some good positions. If you have 2 dumbbells, you can rock the 2 dumbbells. If you want to work on that unilateral work, play with a single and do 3 to 5 per side. Right after the thruster, we're going to move into our deadlift. So if you're doing a single arm deadlift, you can play around with the single, or you can have 2 dumbbells and work on that tempo deadlift nice and smooth with a 3-second lower. So coming out of the thruster, I just pressed, I finished my last rep, I'm going to bring my feet in, the dumbbell comes down to the hip, I'm going to take the hips back and down, 3, 2, 1, keeping my feet flat, weight through the midfoot, that good back position set, and stand. And I take it back down again, 3, 2, 1, pushing through those legs, and then again, working on that good hinge, making my back position my priority focus in my work set. Now, if you're doing a single, you can also work that sumo position if you'd like, but if you want, you can play around that conventional, because it's always fun to work on trying to balance and stay square in our torso position. Quick recap for our work set. We have our tempo goblet squat, 3 reps at a 5-second lower, 1 second pause, and then 3-second stand. Nice and slow, slowing that down really, really well, and then taking it into our back lunge to high knee jump for 20 seconds per side. Now remember, if you're not comfortable with the back lunge to high knee jump, you can work on that single leg RDL, high knee jump, working on that nice smooth position for 20 seconds per side. So take the time to work on positions. Don't worry about reps. Work on quality reps for 20 seconds per side. Tempo thruster follows that, 3 to 5 reps per side, or double dumbbell at a 3-second squat eccentric, drive press, and then we're gonna finish off with a nice dumbbell deadlift for 3 reps at a 3-second eccentric, either 3 per side or 2 dumbbells for 3 reps total. You can take that down again, 2 to 3, 3 to 5 rounds, whatever you need to get yourself prepped and whatever you have time for to move into our work set, which we're gonna come at you with right now, covering those 2 movements with a few different manners of taking it down today. So pause the video, get yourself prepped and ready, get your heart rate up, do it up, and then come join me for that round, those 10 rounds of work. The workout is upon us, everyone. We got 10 rounds coming your way. We have 10 dumbbell thrusters and 3 dumbbell deadlifts per side. So we have a couple different ways to take this down. Now with the thruster, if you have 2 dumbbells, bam, 2 dumbbells, you're gonna do a total count of 10 reps, call it a day. If you have 1 dumbbell, what you're gonna do is you're going to do 5 on one side, 5 on the other side, splitting the reps in half, and you're gonna get that nice total count of 10 reps, splitting it between the right side and the left side. So we have a couple different options there for you guys with the thruster. With the dumbbell deadlift though, we have 3 per side, so we're gonna come down to a single dumbbell deadlift. And you can do a total count of 6 reps, but 3 on each side. Now if you have 2 different loads of dumbbells and you want to play with 2 different weights, the deadlift can be a little bit heavier than the thruster if you'd like, because there's only 3 reps and you're only using one side per time, so it's a little easier to manage that loading. All right, so we want to go heavier on the dead if we have access to it, lighter on the thruster. If you only have access to 1 load, all right, and you have that option, you're just going to work on that good smooth deadlift, kind of moving right into that next loading, and try and keep those dumbbells moving the entire 10 rounds with minimal rest. So try and keep and play with that a little bit. So we have a couple different options here for you guys depending on what you have access to at home. Remembering the thruster will be the lighter of the 2 movements if you have access to those 2 different weights. Now, with the thruster, we showed you the thruster in the warm-up with that tempo. I'm just gonna knock off a couple reps for you guys without that tempo to show you a couple things. So with the thruster, I'm gonna stand in my sumo stance to start, just standing over top of my dumbbell. I'm gonna clean the dumbbell up, step my feet into my squat stance, and then I'm going to squat. So I'm pulling myself down to the bottom, pressing myself up overhead with that dumbbell overhead. As the dumbbell comes down, I'm going to absorb into that next squat and return the energy back into the dumbbell. So we don't have to stop and then squat and then go. If you need to, that's fine. But if you can, we'll absorb, drive. Absorb, drive. Working on that nice smooth squat, absorbing the weight of the dumbbell, and then returning that energy back up as we drive overhead, coming out of that extension. Now the big thing with that is making sure we get our good squat on, like we practiced in the tempo thruster earlier on, slowing that squat down. So if that helps to make sure you have a strong, stable base to return the energy, please do that throughout the workout. Or start going quickly, and then if you find you're starting to shift into your toes, lose your balance on the press, who knows, start slowing things down on the fly and adjust as you need to as fatigue starts to set in. We always want to think about nice, smooth, quality reps as we're working through this, because smooth, quality reps and efficiency means we can start moving faster through that efficient movement. We don't even have to try and go fast, but just with that efficient movement, we're not dumping energy in places we don't need to, and we can end up doing more work before we have to put the dumbbell down. So have fun with this one, you guys. It's going to be a pretty fast little gasser, even though it's 10 rounds. You're going to move through these reps pretty quickly. So I hope you guys enjoy this one. Have fun with it. Let me know how it goes. I'm interested to hear about how this one goes, what you guys chose to do for loading. All right, if you chose to do 2 separate loads, 1 load, single dumbbell, 2 and 1, who knows? Lots of options. But let me know what you played with. Have fun with this. And tomorrow, you're going to get your crack at 21.2. So the next open workout's coming at you tomorrow. As always, you guys, work for quality, have fun. We'll see you tomorrow with some more fun. And yeah, have a great, fantastic day. Bye.